But as the weekend unfolded, Friday night was not very good. Preston Johnson got roughed up a little bit. Saturday was not great. Walks, free passes, kind of came back to bite Parker Stinnett in the ball game. What'd you think of the first two before we get to game three?
It sort of went the way you said. I mean, State when you're playing Arkansas, you got to be almost perfect, right? They're a really good team. When you're walking batters, committing errors, and hitting batters, I mean, you're giving them free base runners, you got no chance to win. You know, State didn't pitch it great on Friday. You mentioned Preston Johnson, but they only scored one run. You know, if you go back to Friday's show, I said I think these are going to be high-scoring games. You know, State only getting one run. I mean, it really doesn't matter what you do on the mound at that point. You know, they were a little more active, competed a little bit better on Saturday. But again, you know, when you go down early that quick and your bullpen is such an issue for you, and your starter only gives you 1 2/3 because he gave up 5 walks and 3 hit batters, it's just going to be tough to win. So, the first 2 games of the series look a lot like the first 2 games of the series last year, where Arkansas just came into Starkville and just pushed State around. It reminded me of the Ole Miss Tennessee series a little bit, where they just bullied was the word Michael used for that, and it was the same thing. Arkansas bullied Mississippi State those first 2 games, which to me makes that Sunday win even more impressive because it felt like State was on the ropes.
You pointed out last week that Arkansas was talented enough that they were eventually going to start swinging the bats.
Yeah.
And they really kind of did that in a couple of – I mean, Brady Slavens didn't have a hit in an SEC game and doesn't play in the first game, and then he goes 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run scored on Saturday, batting in the DH spot. They had some big hits, 8-1 on Friday night, 12-5 yesterday. Huge crowds for all 3 games. But again, you go to Parker Stinnett, inning and 2/3, only allows 1 hit, but he gives up 4 earned runs because of 3 walks. There was a wild pitch mixed in there. He hit a couple of batters and just kind of had the wheels come off. Can Mississippi State keep going with Parker Stinnett as the number 2 starter?
That's a good question. Part of me wants to see Cade Smith move up, but part of me wants to keep him on Sunday because I feel like he might be the best Sunday starter in the league. He's just good, and he gives State a chance to win every Sunday. And then if you could steal one on Friday, Saturday on the road, I mean, you're in really good shape. But at the same time, Stinnett has just been so inconsistent. That being said, his best outing as a starter, his 2 best outings were in front of big Mississippi State crowds, down on the coast against Texas Tech, and then 2 weeks ago against Alabama. Next 2 series are at home. So maybe being at home and pitching in front of the home crowd will settle him down a little bit, and he can give you some quality starts.
Orky, what did you think about the first couple of games?
Oh, they largely shot themselves in the foot. I mean, when you don't score, you can't win, but that's kind of the story of it, right? Is Mississippi State probably wasn't winning those first 2 games anyway because of lack of plate production, but they sure made it harder on themselves.
Yeah.
And this is what I was talking about. Not that, sometimes I do get some things right. And this is what I was referring to a few weeks ago when I said you need to alter the way you look at this team in this season without Landon Sims and Stone Simmons. Because if Landon Sims, bless him, did not get hurt, State wins the series this weekend. Or at least they have a much better chance at doing so. This is what I was talking about. I'm not saying they still can't achieve all of their goals. That is all still in front of them and entirely possible. If you count out a Mississippi State team, then you're a fool. Because they've proven you time and time again that counting them out is a foolish thing to do, especially in recent history anyway. But this is what I was talking about. They don't have that, and a lot of teams don't have that guy, which is to their benefit, but having that guy to start Friday night would have changed a lot of things. How many teams can overcome a 6-0 hole in the second inning? Very few.
Yeah.
So this is kind of what I was referring to. But if they just don't shoot themselves in the foot, it's a different series.
I mean, you're exactly right. So on Friday night, you give up 6 in the second, and aside from that, it's a 2-1 game. Now, you don't get to do the aside from that thing because you have to play 9 innings. You look at the second, third, and fourth innings on Saturday, 4 in the second, 4 in the third, 2 in the fourth for Arkansas. They blow it wide open. It's 10-1, and then it's a tight game the rest of the way. And again, It's not like you can take, aside from those 3 at-bats for Arkansas, hey,
aside from that,
Mississippi
Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Yeah.
But it's a good indicator, though, of how close you can be.
And it was a good weekend for the bullpen. I mean, outside of Tuller, State's bullpen was pretty good this weekend, and especially Fristow, who coming in that high-pressure situation and basically pitching like a closer should, throwing 95, 96, 97, getting outs. When State got the lead, I think he had the first 2 outs of the bottom of the 12th on 2 pitches, and just looked like a good closer out there.
That's exactly right. He got 2 just routine fly balls on 2 pitches to take any potential drama out of the equation in the bottom of the 12th inning yesterday. Bristow goes 3 2/3, 2 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, did not allow a run, and it was exactly when Mississippi State. And by the way, the only walk was an intentional walk.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was a control thing. Bubba in Meridian says State gave up 11 walks Friday and 8 on Saturday. Yeah,
not going to beat Arkansas. Not going to beat anybody like that, but definitely not Arkansas.
And then on Sunday, they walked 7, which is more than you would like, but able to kind of manage around those. And 6 of the, one of the 7, obviously.
And it's over 12 innings.
I'm sorry, 2 intentional walks as well across 7 innings.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's a 12-inning game. So, I mean, you got a little extra leeway there, I guess. But
yeah,
all in all, we said it last week. I will continue to say it.
Don't get swept.
Don't get swept.
And a loss yesterday would have changed the conversation today.
And also something to be said for Lamona's finally beating Arkansas. He got that monkey off of his back. State had lost 8 straight to the Razorbacks. It's good to get a win. Reset for another tough week. 3-1. 3-1 is the goal this week. Obviously you'd love 4-0, but 3-1 is the goal this week.
Greg in Nettleton says, so proud of Jackson Fristow. He needed that big time. Yeah, agreed. Absolutely, and you hope that you can carry that forward. King Biscuit, same thing, says Fristow looked great.
Would you move Smith up, Richard? Because Hayden already gave his take on it. I would move him up.
I should say this, though. I would only move him up, and Coach just talked about it. Once Casey Hunt is maybe ready to come back to the rotation, I would do it then.
I think I would move him up, and I agree with Haydad's logic about he may be the best Sunday starter you've got in the SEC. I will agree with that. Here's the reason I would move him up. If you get a win on Friday, you've got a guy that is good enough to go pitch you to a series win on Saturday and give you a chance to get that series win and put you in a chance for who knows what happens on Sunday. If you lose game 1, I feel like he gives you the best chance to split the series and give you a chance to perhaps get a series win on Sunday. Now, if you know for a fact, which there's no way to know this, right? I mean, you don't have a crystal ball that tells you this. There's no way to look into the crystal ball and go, regardless of what happens, you're losing the first 2 games, and so that's the guy you want on Sunday to give you a win. If you knew that was going to be the case, obviously you leave him on Sunday. But I don't think you can play the game that way. You got to play the game trying to get as much as you can, as fast as you can, so you got a chance to win a series or sweep a series on Sunday.